George Marsden's book, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship, focused on one simple idea. Should Christian perspectives be excluded from academia? George Marsden was an American historian who wrote about Christianity, higher education, evangelicalism, and American culture. He served as a professor of history at the University of Notre Dame. During his own time researching in academia, specifically in writing his book, The Soul of the American University, Marsden discovered how American universities had changed over time. Specifically, he witnessed how most universities went from being shaped by Protestant Christianity to becoming largely secular institutions. In Marsden's view, modern academia often treated secular assumptions as neutral, while treating religious assumptions as biased. Secular scholars were able to bring their secular viewpoints like Marxism, feminism, and postmodernist assumptions into their work. However, Christian and other religious scholars were often seen as prejudiced if they were to bring their faith-informed worldview into any academic work. Marsden believed this was a double standard. He believed this should be changed, and his book, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship, critiqued this exact point. In The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship, Marsden argued that Christian scholars should be allowed to bring their faith-informed worldview into academic work, just as other scholars bring secular Marxist, feminist, or postmodernist assumptions into their own work. Marsden does not argue that Christian scholars should ignore evidence, or abandon academic standards, or force theology into every subject. Marsden believed that these same academic standards should be upheld no matter what the belief system is. Instead, the argument focused on the idea that Christian belief can shape questions that scholars ask, the assumptions that they bring, and the moral significance that they see in their work. His work was designed to challenge the idea that secular approaches are neutral, while religious approaches are automatically biased. Other Christian scholars, such as Mark Knoll and Nicholas Wolterstorff, I don't exactly know how to say his name, but we'll go with that, have raised similar questions about faith, reason, and intellectual life. But Marsden's contribution is especially focused on whether Christians' perspectives should have a legitimate place in the modern academy. By allowing a Christian worldview to exist within academia, it adds another perspective that can provide a larger context for understanding human nature, morality, meaning, and truth. Marsden believed that this change would actually benefit academia as a whole. This was because it would help to create a truly pluralistic academy. This evolved form of academic studies would not only contain the secular perspectives, but also allow Christian scholarship to exist as one legitimate perspective within serious intellectual life. Marsden's vision was not one that promoted anti-academic ideals, but instead it was a call for a more honest and more pluralistic academy. Even more specifically, Marsden's vision was not an idea that introduced something new into academia, but it was actually intended to recover an aspect of academic thought that had been lost as many universities moved from Protestant foundations towards secular assumptions. Thank you very much.